There it is. We're live. Here we go. All right. Welcome, everybody. This is a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. And I'm on my own today. That's all right, because we're going to be talking about all the ways that polyamory has changed my life. How's it changed yours? All right, let's jump in. Let's have a good time. Here we go.
Practicing Polyamory, real-life perspectives from the imperfect people of polyamory. The mission of the Practicing Polyamory podcast is to provide a platform for all of the real-life, flawed humans that practice polyamory so that we might all learn from one another and grow as a community. Enjoy the show.
All right. Welcome, everybody. It is a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. And like I said, I'm on my own. I had a guest not show up. That's okay. It happens, whatever they've got going on. I hope they're doing okay. But before we jump in, don't forget, we are doing 3 live shows every week, which means lots of opportunity to get your questions answered. So if you have questions about your relationships, or if there's a topic you'd like to hear discussed on the show, slide into my DMs. Let me know what it is that you want to talk about, or leave a comment while I'm here live. Why not? Have some fun with me. Talk to me. Chat with me. Follow me on all social media platforms at Practicing Polyamory. Let me know what it is that you want us to talk about on the show. And as always, as a reminder, if you're listening to this podcast, you are a welcome guest to be on the show. None of us are perfect, and we're here to share as many imperfect stories as possible, because the more stories we hear, the more others will see us in themselves, and the more representation we have, the more we can strengthen our community. So go to practicingpolyamory.com and sign up to share your imperfect story too. All right, so I don't have a guest to introduce, so I guess it's just me. All the ways that polyamory has changed my life. I'm going to shoot for this 30 minutes here, right? I have zero prep work. I have not done any of the prep that I might normally do. I'm going off the cuff here. I've done shows on my own where normally I like have a whole script and I wrote things out. I don't even know yet what points I'm going to touch on. It's a very broad spectrum of topic, subject here, whatever, that I can go on. So the ways that polyamory has changed my life. Let's see. Let's do a little bit of history here. Let's go back to when it all began, I guess. I find it funny. I was talking to, who was I talking to? I want to say it was Heather Shannon last week. And on the show, we talked about how the different things were for me 10 years ago, right? 10 years ago, I was 27 years old, never even heard of polyamory, had no idea that this lifestyle or, whatever existed, right? I had no idea that polyamory even existed. I don't think that even back then I necessarily wanted it. I still was very much, programmed for monogamy. I was still, hoping to at some point have, a family, kids and all that stuff. And here I am 10 years later, a fully fledged polyamorous. I got my membership card. I don't know about you guys, but no, I'm kidding. I don't have a membership card. But
I wasn't aware that was something a person could do.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. So, yeah, had no idea that this was even possible. And so it was 2015, 6 years ago, when I first got married. My wife and I, we'd been dating for about a year. We fell in love super fast. It was like 10 days and, telling each other we loved each other. And a year later, we're married, and things were great. But we just went like, all right, we're married. And now 2 weeks later, we're in a swingers club. Like, whoa, where does that come from, right? That's just like the beginning. That's like where it got started. And from there we transitioned. We moved from swinging into polyamory. If you've heard any of my coming out stories, you've heard this all before. So I'm not gonna rehash a bunch of that. But since then, there's been a lot of things that have changed. There's a million things that have changed. I want to say, probably one of the biggest ones, one of the biggest things is the way that I personally approach relationships or relating, I guess, especially in romantic relationships. I've talked about this before, how I was in my younger years, very jealous, very possessive. I remember one girlfriend, she wanted to hang out with an ex-boyfriend of hers, right? And I feel like everything in monogamy teaches us, so often, oh no, your partner can't go hanging out with their ex. Like that's wrong. That's weird. That's crazy. No, they can't do that. They can't do that. They can't do that. And so obviously a lot of that was going on in my head, but then there was also like this crazy fear and insecurity and all these things of like, well, maybe she's going to go back to him because, he was better than me or whatever, all this and that. And, I would say that that's probably one of the biggest things that I have been able to let go of. It wasn't instant either, right? It's not like it happened right away. When Vanessa and I first opened up, 2017 would have been 2017 that we started with polyamory anyway. There was stupid fly. There were times when she was seeing somebody and I didn't handle it well. Um, there was one person that she went on a date with, and we were living in our RV at the time, and we were staying on the streets of Vegas, right? We would find different places to park the RV. And at this time, her family had come up to visit. They had just left. They came to visit and they had just left. And so there was like a hotel room that we had for, another night or two. And she took this date back to the hotel room, which is where I thought I was going to be, but I was like waiting in the RV to get the go ahead to come back to the hotel room. Anyway, long story short, I barge into the hotel room and their date for them. And Vanessa and I had ourselves a nice little fight, after that. So like I've grown quite a bit from that. I don't think that I'll find myself in a position where I'm going to go and ruin anybody's date or anything like that. But it was that kind of jealousy and that kind of insecurity that I had to work through. I had to figure out how to get over that. Obviously, I didn't right then and there. Um, some things that happened kind of afterwards, I guess. I mean, it wasn't long after that Vanessa and I had our first split. So like we kind of went our we separated for 3 months shortly thereafter. So there was a lot of time for me to kind of go through and figure out, if I wanted to continue through continue down this polyamorous path. And while we were split up, still in the RV, right? At least I was still in the RV. We came back home to San Diego. She was staying with her parents for a little while. And I had somebody that I was seeing that would come over and, console me because here I am separated, and going through a lot of heartbreak. I was drinking a lot of port wine during that time. I'll tell you what. And I had this other partner who would come over and just spend time with me. And so having that connection was something that like helped me realize that I do actually want this in my life. I do want to have multiple people around me to support me, to help me through things, and being that person for someone else. I guess that kind of ties into another thing that has changed is I have very often played the role of the white knight, right? The savior. I want to come in and find, not that I'm looking for somebody who's in distress, but man, it was definitely a habit of finding somebody who was in some kind of distress and then jumping in. And here I am, I'm stable. I've got a good job or, income or whatever. I'm emotionally available. I've got all these things going for me. Let me be
I'm your huckleberry.
your huckleberry. I love it. Well done. Like I can be and do all of these things for this person who maybe isn't having, the easiest time in life in general. And I don't think that I do that anymore. Now, granted, my partner right now is a little immobilized. She's the past 2 weeks. It's been about a week and a half since a little minor surgery that she had. But that first week afterwards, it was really cool to have this switching on and off. Like myself and her other partner, we were just one night a piece switching to make sure that she had somebody overnight every night. But the difference there is I'm no longer taking that all on myself and putting everything that I aspire towards, everything that I want to do, all the things that I want to achieve, or everything that I want to do. My whole life doesn't get put on pause. And that was definitely a habit for me, in the before times. So many before times now, but in the before times before polyamory was I definitely had a habit of finding somebody that I was interested and throwing everything that I was at that person, at that relationship. And honestly, I think it was a lot to handle for her. I think it was a lot to handle for a lot of people. When, I would get into a relationship and, I would give it my all, but not just in the sense that like I would give everything of myself to relationship. It was to a point where everything that I did revolved around that relationship. It was, planning my future around what this person is going to be in my life, or whether or not they're going to be. And if they are, what would they want? What would they want to do? And can I build a future that, works for them and for me? And that's one of the things that's changed a lot for me now is I do a lot more for myself. Maybe this is the solo polyamorist in me, um, which is a term that I'm coming to terms with, trying to navigate. Because like I said, up until 5 years ago, is it 5 years ago now? 5 years ago that we started exploring polyamory, that, I really did make all of my future plans around a single person, and it usually wasn't me. Um, at this point in my life, Vanessa has moved out. I have been living on my own since April. So April, May, June, July, 4 months now. I've been living on my own. Um, and it was something that I used to fear. I had a lot of fear around living on my own for a long time. Loneliness since freaking high school. Loneliness was one of my biggest demons, one of the things that I struggled with the most. But I think, a big part of the reason is because loneliness to me meant never finding the one, right? Never finding that person that was going to fulfill all of my dreams and be everything that I ever needed in this whole world, and I would never need anybody else, and we would live happily ever after for the rest of our lives. Yeah, it's just funny, I guess, to think about
I'm
that.
sorry. I took it too far.
I did. I did. Very many times I took it too far. I expected so much, and I put so much pressure on, the person that I was dating, at these different times. I do remember at one point during my Navy career, must have been probably around this 26, 27 years old range, where I realized, you know what, there's no such thing as the one, right? There are many the ones. There are many people that I can have a strong connection with. Um, that realization, some 10 years ago was really helpful in letting me explore relationships at that time. So at that time I was like stupid head over heels in love with this one girl who you know, I chased for like 10 years, didn't work out, obviously. But giving myself that permission to say, hey, there's more than just the one, right? There are multiple people that I can have a connection with. There are multiple people that could potentially be a soulmate. And what polyamory has done is change it so that those close relationships, those soulmates, those incredible connections are not strictly romantic ones. I feel like I've been able to dig deeper into many, many friendships. Um, I have been able to be more vulnerable with my guy friends. Even I tell some of my guy friends, hey man, I love you, like, and that's an important thing for men to tell one another. I think that it's easy to get lost, but like the ideas of polyamory, the ideas of having an infinite ocean of love makes it so that I can give love in different ways to different people and not just like hoard it and reserve it for only a specific type of relationship that's supposed to be the deepest and the best. I always had this idea that my partner, my one and only, would be my best friend and everything. Best friend, lover, and teammate, and partner, and mother to my child. Like everything would be encompassed in this one person. And again, it was a lot of pressure to put on someone. And that's definitely another huge lesson that polyamory has taught me. Something else that I've been able to take away is, you know, my partner now doesn't feel that pressure. I hope. I don't think. And I don't put that pressure on any partners. I don't put that pressure on any one person, because I've come to realize that a lot of people will fill a lot of different needs throughout my life. Nobody is going to take the place of my brother, who is sitting back here, doing the clips, and with whom I do all of our businesses and our investments, and we sit and talk business and we do podcasts together. Like nobody can take my brother's place. Nobody can take Vanessa's place in the 6-7 years that we were together, and the life that we built, and the family ties that we have. And nobody can take Amuta's place, and the hiking, and all these different the running, and just the different connections that we have. And nobody can take anybody's place in my life. And as new connections come, as new connections are formed, they start to fill these different areas. And I think it's like areas that we don't always know need to be filled. There's that possibility, that opportunity to allow these new relationships to come into my life and fill voids that maybe I didn't know were there. So, let's see what else has changed. What else has changed? Um, Going back to living alone, going back to this loneliness, right? Going back to this fear of always being alone. I definitely, when I think about what my life will look like at 102 when I die, I wonder who will be there with me. But what polyamory has done is make it so that I can always have somebody with me at the end, right? When I was monogamous, I would think about the end, and it was that person, whoever that might have been, right? It was going to be that person that was with me, holding my hand when I took my last breath, or the other way around, whatever. But in monogamy, uh if I lost that person first, then who's going to be with me at the end? Now, polyamory gives me that opportunity to have more people with me at the end, even more than I might have had otherwise. It gives me the opportunity to continue to build awesome deep friendships. And going back to that, that's I have a really good friend from karaoke, Jonathan, who I'm really really close with, and he's one of the first people that one of the first guys that I've been like affectionate with. Like I'll go up and like kind of lean on him a little bit and give him big hugs, and like there's this openness and depth to a friendship that I don't know that got opened up with everything that I've learned from polyamory, with being able to take relationships to any depth that I want them to go. And yeah, I don't know, it's maybe I'm rambling. Maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about anymore. Like I said, I was gonna try for 30 minutes. We're at 21 now, so cool. I wonder if there's anybody else that is out there who maybe wants to drop a comment. Tell me how polyamory has changed your life. Tell me what polyamory has done for you, because I mean those are some of the biggest takeaways from me. I love it. I love it. See, this is why, FYI, this is why I do scripted shows if I'm going to do anything else, or I will go and find an article somewhere, but I wanted to try something different and just kind of see where I might go with this. Probably should have taken some notes, probably should have written some things down, but you know what? I think I'm going to call it.
Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Yeah, good call. Are you not entertained? I think I'm done. But polyamory has changed my life, honestly, for the better. I last night spent time with Vanessa and her new partner, and myself being her ex and her other ex. So those three of us, gentlemen and Vanessa, and it's because of polyamory. It's because of the things that I've learned through polyamory that I've been able to maintain this wonderful friendship relationship with someone who really means a lot to me. But in a lot of times in romantic relationships, especially monogamous romantic relationships, when we break up, it's really hard to stay friends, right? I laugh a little bit about that. I'm like chuckling on the inside because I think of all those breakups where you're like, yeah, but we can still stay friends, right? And it normally doesn't work out. But in this case, in my case, I'm lucky and happy to say that it is working out. We are staying friends, and even if there's a little bit of stuff to work through, it's possible and worth it. So I'm going to kill it there. I'm going to end it there. I appreciate every single one of you, everybody who tuned in. I don't know why y'all tuned in today. I don't know why thank you for supporting me. Thank you for, I hope that you all got a little something out of this. And yeah, I'm just going to end it. Tune in Monday through Wednesday. I wanted to get this done. That's the other thing. I wanted to get this done because last week I didn't do 3 episodes. The week before I didn't do 3 episodes. So I'm like, damn it, I'm going to do 3 freaking episodes today. Even if I'm stumbling my way and like awkwardly talking about, I don't know what for, 25 minutes, whatever. Thank you all for your support. As a reminder, when we're live, you get no commercial interruptions, but the same can't be said for the podcast downloads. So if you want to avoid the commercial interruptions, be sure to catch us live Monday through Wednesday, 2:30 Pacific time, or sign up for Patreon where you'll get access to our commercial-free RSS feed and support the show. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, everywhere you download your podcast. And if you haven't already, please leave us a review. All right, that's all I've got. Thank you all, as always. Until next week. This is the last one for this week.
Have a nice day!
Thank you for tuning in to the Practicing Polyamory podcast. Would you or someone in your polycule like to be a guest? Sign up at practicingpolyamory.com and join the conversation. Please support us by subscribing, liking, and following us on social media at Practicing Polya by clicking any of the affiliate links on our website or by subscribing at